With 2022 coming to an end in just a little over a week, and 2023 beginning also in just a little over a week, I wanted to look back and reflect on what 2022 was like for me. 2022, like most years, seem to have their ups and their downs. People get older and people pass away. People sell their houses and move away. And things just happen throughout the year. So what happened for me in 2022? Breaking it down by time period, in the early part, that would be January through March, the first quarter of 2022, that was a little bit of a rough start. January, February were fine, and then March, I had to put my dog that I had, Sophie, which I have actually a video up on YouTube of her that is here that you can watch. We aren't specifically sure how old she really was. We're thinking 14 to maybe 15 years old. Her breed was a Chesty, which is a combination white West Highland Terrier with a Chihuahua. So not quite a small dog, maybe a medium-sized dog. And she was just old and she had arthritis and she was going to need surgery, and we're thinking, well, if we have to put her to sleep, which we ended up doing late March, then there's no point in giving her the surgery. That's not going to extend her life, and ultimately that would have been the case. That would have been a probably $2,000 surgery and not extended her life. But in the time we did have Sophie, she was a good dog. She was there a lot for me when I needed her. I had deaths over the years that I had her, and Christmases and etc. Then I mentioned just a moment ago that people move. Well, my grandparents, unfortunately health related, they had to sell their house of 20 years in the April-May time period. They were fully moved out by the end of May, which oddly enough, my grandmother says that coincides with them moving into that exact house 20 years prior, in April-May of 2002. So that was really hard, because I grew up in that particular house for 20 years. You know, I had birthdays and I had Christmases and all that. But then things happened to take a turn for the better. I thought, oh, great, this year sucks. You know, I had to put my dog to sleep. You know, my grandparents moved. And then the year takes a turn around June through September. I start to get out and I start to practice driving behind the wheel in an empty parking lot, that is. And that is what I want to continue doing into next year. Probably March through November, because that's daylight savings. That's when daylight savings time starts again. Pardon me. That's where I really want to be. I did accomplish what I wanted to accomplish this year, and that was learning to get out and practice drive, and ultimately, it might not even be next year. I hope it is next year, though, but it might not even be next year that I get my permit, which is fine. But I did ultimately accomplish my goal. You know what? A lot of people set a goal, or they set goals that are unrealistic, and they usually don't succeed in getting them. If I don't get my permit next year, there's always the year after. I think what I would probably do is use March through November of next year to practice, and then see how far I get and where I'm at. And, of course, if I need more time, that's fine. I don't have to rush to get my permit. Basically, in California, all a permit is going to allow me to do is allow me to practice driving on the street. That's it. That's really all it's going to allow me to do. It's not going to change anything from what I'm doing now, practicing in a parking lot. That's it. So really no rush to get the permit. If I don't get it, then keep practicing and then get it and then practice some more and then ultimately get my license. But I knew the starting of this year that I wanted to learn to practice drive, to start practicing, and I did. And that's the goal I set late 2021 for 2022. I made a video on that last year. 2021, what I want to do for 2022. So this is what I want to do for 2023. I've actually been wanting to drive since 2017, but I was never able to see well enough to do that before I got a pair of glasses. Why I waited until 2020 to get a pair, almost 5 years later, I do not know. But I was able to accomplish my goal, and that's kind of my reflection on 2022. It had its ups and its downs, as I said, every year tends to have their ups and their downs, and I know 2023 is going to be no exception to that. Like any year, people pass away, people move, animals pass away. Like I said, I had to put my dog to sleep early this year. People move. Like I said, my grandparents had to move. That was very emotional. That was very hard. Again, that was 20 years, age 8 to age 28. That was really hard. But looking forward on the bright side, closing out 2022 and moving into 2023, I want to continue to practice driving and better myself so I'm comfortable and I'm ready to get my permit. I want to be as comfortable as possible. I think that's a realistic goal. Like I said, people set unrealistic goals and they never achieve them. My goal, I just happen to achieve this year. Let's keep that goal going next year. So I want to close out by saying Merry Christmas, finish out the year, and have a wonderful start to 2023. This is going to be a great year for me. This is going to be a fantastic year for me. I'm looking forward to 2023. Again, it's going to have its ups, it's going to have its downs. 2023 is going to be like any year. Like I said, there's going to be good times in the new year and there's going to be bad times. Hopefully 2023 doesn't start out like 2022 where I had to put my dog to sleep. That wasn't fun, I'll tell you. That wasn't fun. So I will catch you all in the next video. There will be plenty more videos to come in the new year. Have a very safe travels this holiday season and Happy New Year.